I wanted to give all of you a little lesson, something that us witches know and might help you in your journey. This is one of the reasons why going back to ancestors, that the ancestors were sought for guidance, but they understood what gods were. And I think because we have become modern and a lot of propaganda has been played with between different religions and different belief systems, I think it's a really important lesson that all of us learn this going forward. Okay. So the word God, G-O-D, it actually is originally a Proto-Germanic word. God was not called God until probably in the medieval ages. Before that, I'm sure he was called something else in the southern regions. But God originally is a Germanic term. And the word God, it comes from the Proto-Indo-European word Geu. And this is where we get the word Deus in Italian or Latin, and we would get Zeus in Greek and Teus or Twisto in Germany, in the Teutonic regions, and then eventually it would become what the Christians and the most people call God. But what's really important is to remember that the original word Geu means to pour out a libation or an offering. That's actually, it means to pour. It means to offer, to give an offering. And words are very, very important because words denote the function of things. And any entity that you would call God demands a sacrifice, some kind of sacrifice. Now, the sacrifice is something that you negotiate with that God. But there's a lot of wisdom, especially in old tales, especially if you were to read some of the Grimm's fairy tales, some of the old Slavic tales. Our ancestors, especially our pagan ancestors, they had a very complex understanding of gods. Gods aided people, they helped people, but they required payment. They did not just give away their services for free. And this was something that, in my research, I learned very early on as a witch. And it was through my dreams and talking to my ancestors that I began to realize that, one of the reasons why witches were really feared is because they serve no one. They literally exist between the worlds. They don't serve gods. They don't worship gods. They don't even serve or worship the ancestors. But what they do is they stand in sovereignty as a human deity. And this flies in the face of all these other people sacrificing their lives for their gods. And it's pagan as well as monotheistic. And that is something that I would like to share because I think that it's really important to understand that all gods, if they call themselves a god, they require a sacrifice. And they will get that sacrifice whether you offer it or not. And so many people don't even realize that they are the sacrifice in that exchange. They don't even realize that they are actually giving over their life to die for, to be an offering poured out for their deity. And I think it's very important that if you have any kind of relationship with a deity, you need to sit down with that deity and ask them, what do you want from me? What kind of sacrifice are you wanting in this exchange? And if you don't like what they answer, then you you need to reevaluate your connection with that deity. So here's the key. I think in Christianity they tried to get away from it, like get around the whole semantics thing of like, oh, God sacrificed his only son. The thing is, that only works for the son. It doesn't work for you. It's a relationship. It's a personal relationship with a deity, and that deity will require a sacrifice from you. Whether you believe the hype or not, whether you believe what the church is selling, that deity will require a sacrifice for you. And so it's very important that if you are working with any deity, that you be honest and you ask them what they want from you. What sacrifice do they want from you? So just wanted to share that as a witch. And if you want, go on Wiktionary. Go on Wiktionary and look at the etymology of the word God. The words describe the nature of things. That's why language is so important. This is why it was worshipped in the ancient days. In the ancient times, the very letters and the symbols of sounds were holy. The symbols were entities. They were beings that could help us ascend in consciousness. Language has always been so powerful, and language gives us insight as to the nature of things. So it's always really important that you look at the true nature of things and don't just believe what you are told. You need to ask questions, and you need to be very, very protective of yourself, because you as a human in the spiritual world, you're a big commodity, and there's a lot of beings out there that really want to own you, to control you, to use you for their purposes. And that's why, my friends, that is why people hate witches, because we know we have this knowledge. It's hard won, and I think it's kind of hard baked in who we are. I think we know it from birth, and we don't serve anyone. We serve ourselves. And if we're sacrificing anything to anyone, it is for our own self-growth. So, wise words from a friendly witch who hopes that you make good choices.